think about sight and think about all the things that you could look at, and then just say to yourself, I have this gift of sight for the pleasure that it brings to me. I have this gift of sound for the pleasure that it brings to me. This sensual feeling of touch, my physical body has all of these sensory perceivers within it, all for the pleasure that it brings to me. My sense of taste, all for the pleasure that it brings to me. What other reason would there be for that? What other reason would there be for the sense of taste other than for the pleasure of that which it brings to you? Can you think of any other reason? You just didn't get planted here with your inability to see or hear or smell or taste or touch. You came with the ability to translate vibrationally for the purpose of, and we want you to feel what the purpose of it is, for the joy of your physical experience. And you came with the ability to think for the pleasure of your personal experience, you see. And humans have kind of got off that track. You think you got to think to solve problems. That's not what it's about. You're thinking for the pleasure of the thought. And when you start reaching for the thought because of the pleasure that it could possibly give you, then you don't say you're sorry because that's not a pleasurable thought. And you don't say you're nervous because that's not a pleasurable thought. You focus your mind in ways that brings you pleasure, and then you sustain that vibration, and then you live the life that you came to live. We like to encourage focus and awareness of what the focus brings. And so we encourage choosing things that you don't have resistance practiced about. In other words, if a person has wanted a car, and they don't want just any car, they want that car. And that car doesn't just cost a little, that car costs a lot. And they don't have that kind of discretionary income right now. And since they're equating having that with spending that, and spending that with earning that, then they have some obstacles in their path that they have to overcome. So we like to encourage them to get the hang of this by using the power of their mind, spending the vibrational currency on things that the universe can yield to them right now, for not very much time, an hour or two, and watch how many demonstrations the universe will give you that lets you know that we are all aware of what you're talking about, aware of what you want, aware of where what you want is, and aware of how to lead you to it, and boom, again and again and again and again and again, you're going to have that affirming experience that lets you know that you are the center of the universe. That there are masses that are standing in the wings where you can't see them, that are in on what you are in on, assisting you, you see. You begin to feel never alone. You begin to feel always involved. You begin to know your power and your value and your worthiness, you see. And it doesn't take very much of that before you say, oh, I like that, what about that? I like that, what about that? So that you begin directing the energy. And what you'll learn, both about monetary currency and vibrational currency, is the more of it that you spend out the bottom, the more of it comes back in the top. In other words, you'll just find yourself so involved in the expenditure of this energy that feels good, and therefore the equivalent reciprocant of more energy coming back in, that it's not like, have you ever had a nest egg, a little clump of cash that you really didn't want to spend because that you didn't know how soon you were going to get more back in, and so you didn't want it to go out because it felt like diminishing? Well, this is the opposite of that, because the more of this you spend, the more comes back in, until you begin to understand that you can have a little bit that you're rotating, or you can have a lot that you're rotating. You can have a little clarity that you're rotating through you, or a lot that you're rotating through you. You can have a little bit of cash that's rotating through your experience, or you can have a lot of cash that's rotating through your experience. Our favorite conversation about the universe demonstrate, we would encourage all of you to make a short list, maybe as soon before you even drive out of the parking lot. Just get something to write on and make a short list of something that you would like to see that doesn't cost any money necessarily. It could, but it doesn't cost any money. It's just something that you're interested in seeing. Just pick something. Write 3 or 4 things on your list and watch how fast the universe brings it to you. Not once, but twice, but again and again and again and again and again and again and again, in demonstration that we saw you write it down, we know what you meant by it, we know where all of those things are, We know where you are in relationship to all of those things. And when you're feeling good like you are today, there's going to be plenty of demonstrations of that alignment. And once you show yourself that with that list, then you can make an endless list.